Across the United States, there are places where time has frozen, places left behind by progress, disaster, or dark history. These aren't just crumbling buildings, they're eerie reminders of forgotten stories. Most people have heard of Centralia or the abandoned Six Flags in New Orleans, and while those places are definitely fascinating, this list takes you deeper. We're looking at abandoned locations that are a little less known, and a lot more haunting. Today, we're uncovering 10 of the most hauntingly abandoned places in the US. And trust me, number 1 is straight out of a horror movie. Let's get curious. Number 10, Sloss Furnaces, Alabama. Once one of the largest pig iron producers in the world, Sloss Furnaces is now a decaying industrial relic in the heart of Birmingham. It shut down in 1971, but what's left behind feels like a steampunk nightmare. Rusted towers, pressure gauges, and pipes that creak in the wind. But here's what makes it unforgettable. Many believe it's haunted by workers who died in the brutal conditions. Some even claim to hear screams from the blast furnaces. Number 9. Lake Shawnee Amusement Park, West Virginia. Lake Shawnee Amusement Park isn't just abandoned, it's layered in unsettling history. Built in 1926, the park was the site of several tragic deaths, including 2 young children. But its story goes further back. The land itself was the site of an 18th century conflict where members of the Clay family were killed during tensions with the Shawnee tribe, adding another dark chapter to its history. Even after these events, the park remained open until 1988, when it was finally shut down for good. Today, its rusted Ferris wheel and crumbling swing sets stand silent. Today it remains one of the most haunted places in America. Number 8. North Brother Island, New York. Hidden in the East River lies an island completely overrun by nature. Once home to a quarantine hospital and the infamous Typhoid Mary, who ended up dying there. The island was abandoned in 1963 after a failed attempt to use it as a drug rehabilitation center. Today it's sealed off, its buildings decaying in eerie silence. It's illegal to visit without special permission, but drone footage reveals a world where Mother Nature has completely taken over man's ruins. Number 7. Forest Haven Asylum, Maryland. This former government-run mental hospital operated from 1925 to 1991, and its legacy is tragic. Housing over 1,000 patients at its peak, there was confirmed widespread abuse, neglect, and medical mistreatment, which plagued the facility for decades. Hundreds of deaths were considered under suspicious circumstances. The scariest part? There's a cemetery behind the building, filled with graves marked only by numbers. It's said that the spirits never left. Number 6. Concrete City, Pennsylvania. An early attempt at modern worker housing, Concrete City was built in 1911 as company housing for select employees of the railroad's coal division. It was abandoned just a decade later due to the cost of required improvements and ended up being too expensive to demolish. Today, they stand in silent ruin, covered in graffiti and surrounded by forest. It's one of the few places in the US where an entire town decayed, but was never torn down. Number 5. Gilman, Colorado. Perched on a dramatic cliffside at 9,000 feet in the Colorado Rockies, Gilman was once a booming mining town rich with silver, lead, and zinc. It thrived for nearly a century before being abruptly abandoned in 1984 due to toxic pollution and safety concerns. The EPA declared it a Superfund site, and residents were forced to evacuate, leaving behind homes, vehicles, and even personal belongings. Today, Gilman remains off-limits to the public, but that hasn't stopped urban explorers from sneaking in to see its decaying houses, empty schoolrooms, and rusted mining equipment. It's a town trapped in time, eerie, intact, and slowly being reclaimed by the mountains. Number 4. Kennecott Mines, Alaska. Tucked deep in the snowy heart of a national park, Kennecott was once one of the richest copper mining operations in America. From 1911 to 1938, this remote town thrived despite its harsh conditions. Thanks to a copper vein so pure, it rewrote mining standards. But when the copper ran out, so did the people. The entire operation was abandoned, leaving behind wooden bunkhouses, towering red mill buildings, and train tracks that now lead nowhere. What makes it so fascinating? It's one of the best preserved ghost towns in the US, and yes, you can still walk inside the mill, which drops 5 stories straight down. Number 3. Holy Land, USA, Connecticut. This was once a vibrant religious theme park built in the 1950s in Waterbury, Connecticut. Its purpose? To recreate scenes from the Bible across an 18-acre hillside, complete with miniature villages, a mock Jerusalem, and oversized crucifixes. But after the death of its founder and years of declining attendance, the park closed in 1984. Efforts to restore it have come and gone, but most of the original structures remain in a state of eerie decay. Crumbling statues, peeling murals, and weather-worn scriptures sit scattered across the hillside. It's a surreal blend of reverence and ruin, a biblical dream-turned ghost town. Number 2. Bodie, California. Bodie was once a lawless boomtown during the California Gold Rush. At its peak in the late 1800s, it had over 10,000 residents, 60 saloons, and a reputation for violence and vice. When the gold dried up, everyone left and no one came back. But instead of falling to ruin, Bodie was preserved in a state of arrested decay, frozen in time. Furniture still sits inside homes, and old bottles rest on bar shelves. Visitors say it feels like everyone just vanished, and local legend warns, take anything from Bodie and you'll be cursed. Before we get to our final place, we wanted to give an honorable mention to Nothing, Arizona. You heard that right? It's called Nothing. A gas station and tiny store were once here, but they've long been abandoned. A sign still stands that reads, "The population was 4, now it's 0. It's not creepy, just surreal. And if you're ever driving through Arizona, it's one of the strangest photo ops you'll ever find. Our final stop is more than just abandoned. It's the kind of place that leaves you emotionally unsettled. You won't believe what was found inside this one. And finally, number 1 goes to Willard Asylum, New York. This place wasn't just a psychiatric hospital. It was where society sent people to disappear. Opened in 1869, it housed thousands, many of whom died there and were buried in unmarked graves. But the most disturbing discovery came after it closed in 1995. Over 400 dust-covered suitcases hidden in an attic, each one packed with a patient's belongings. These weren't just abandoned items, they were the last traces of forgotten lives. Visitors and ghost hunters have reported cold spots, whispers and shadows, as if the building still remembers who was left behind. It's not just one of the most chilling abandoned places in the country, it's one of the saddest. These places may be abandoned, but their stories are anything but empty. They leave behind questions, energy, and echoes of a life once lived. Which of these spots gave you chills? Or made your bucket list? Drop a comment and let me know. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. And until next time, stay curious.